Alright, you already know it. Remember the last time when I said I'll see you guys next time on the update for Anime Adventures? Well, here it is. You know, they added the new My Hero Academia theme to the game now, so that's pretty cool. They did stick to the banner, which was really nice, and they stuck back to story mode, though there are legend stages, which is the reason why I'm doing this macro. The legend stages aren't really that hard, so I'm not really complaining about it, and there's the code, by the way, if you need it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this macro, but before I start, I wanted to say that this macro works for all stages, so of the legend stages, at least. Except probably for the last one, because that is the hardest one, so you might need to do that with other people, not with a macro. Unless you know, if you have like a good unit that could solo it, then go ahead, try it out. But this is a pretty cool macro that could basically work for all of them, and I'm only going to show one angle because I've only seen one angle so far, and that is the most effective one. So those are just heads up, but here's the macro. So you know, go ahead, get a tiny task, start, click join a couple times, and wait until you're in the game. Once you load in, go ahead and click near your waist, because that is where the daily rewards will be at. Go ahead and click that a couple times. Go to quests, collect all your event quests, daily quests, and story quests if you need to. But I only did this because there is a new update, so if I ever collect these quests, then there you go, automatically. And then there's your battle pass, collect it, and I just want to automate all of this because it makes it easier. Then go to the right hand side, click arena, click play arena, and then, or areas, my bad, and walk into the machine, and then wiggle around a little bit just to make sure you're actually inside of the machine. And then after that, click legend stages. I clicked it a couple times because I was messing around, but click the one that you want to go into. I did the first one because this is just a showcase, but it does work for every single one of them. So you could kind of make a macro for each and every single one of them. It might take a while, but it's worth it because overnight you could just get all of the pieces together and then evolve them. So it's really useful. And unless, like I said, you could do the last stage, which has every single one of the actual materials you need for evolving, which then if you can't do that, that's good, great. But I'm only doing this for the people who could probably only do one at a time. But here you go. Once you load into the game, this is the angle that I want you to do, because this is the only angle that I did in this video, but it's facing forwards. You want to go jump a couple of times and then move straight while jumping just to get inside this little crevice over here. Move to the right to angle yourself and to kind of like align yourself with the wall like this, just like this. And then once you align with yourself with the wall, go back down to where you came from, keep jumping, and then once you get to this area right here, to this rock, move to the left, up, and then boom, this is the area. Click O a couple times to actually scoot out, and then boom, this is a good spot. So of course you got the hills right here, you got enough space to put maybe money units over here, ground units over here, anything at all. And now my units that I use is actually Metal Knight, S-Death, Gojo, Sakura, Speedwagon, and Bulma. I use this because they're mostly viable. You can replace S-Death with something else, like with the ground unit. I like to use ground units because you want to place them in the front to get rid of them shields. You can maybe even use Crush for a better team, but I chose Gojo for, of course, the time stop. But the first thing you want to do is, of course, place down your money units, and since you're pretty far back, you're gonna have enough time to actually bring up your money quite a bit and have enough time to save up for your higher tier units that you want to place down, the ones that cost a little more, like Metal Knight. So go ahead and place all your money units, and once they come around, go ahead and place your main damaging unit down, either Metal Knight or something else. I like to use Metal Knight because he's kind of like a really good top tier that's easily obtainable, and he's great for most stages just because of the fact that even if the damage isn't there when like they have an increase for physical, because he is magical, he has other, you know, drones that come with him that do extra damage. So he's just a great unit to be using. And then once you place down your units, as you can see, I placed down a Sakura right next to them. My bad, my English isn't really that great, but like I said, I placed down the Sakura for the extra damage. And what you'll see me doing is you'll actually see me place them multiple times in the same area, because you want to make sure that they're actually placed down. Because if you only place them once and your Wi-Fi is a little slow, then of course the unit will not be placed down, and then boom, you messed up. So that's why I love to do it multiple times. I even like to upgrade multiple times, even though it might not be the best decision. It just makes sure everything is intact and everything is aligned to what you want it to be in terms of actually upgrading them and actually placing them down. Because like I said, if you don't place them down, you don't get to do anything, you lose the game. And if you don't upgrade them, you don't get to do anything, you lose the game. So always double check for each and every one of your useful units. But yeah, from there I keep upgrading them to the point where they could handle it on their own, and then I place down Gojo just in case I do need a time stop. This will probably be useful later in the run for bosses, not really for these main minions. But if you do have trouble with these enemies that, you know, that run at you, then go ahead and use it. It's a utility and it's very slow, and Gojo is easily obtainable. You could also use slows like Karakuri. This would make it a little better as well. And like I said, Crush that could get rid of all these shields in the front. But that's basically it. I placed down my money units. I'm upgrading my main ones. But yeah, I have Gojo for the utility, I have Sakura for the extra damage, and then I have my units taking care of everything else. And then later on, you will see myself placing down S-Death in the front to actually get rid of the shields, as you can see right here. Just a little extra damage in the front so it can make it quicker. And I like to place it in the back because, like I said, this will work for all of the legend stages, and maybe even story mode because they have the same map. And since the legend stages do get harder progressively the more you go down in the stages, like 1 through 6, I like to place kind of near the middle and the back so you could actually gain more money and have more time to prepare for all these units that are a little bit harder than to be starting in the front. But from there, I should kill the boss pretty easily. Boom. And then place your mouse over the next button a couple times, move it around, click it around 10 seconds, and this will make sure that you actually click next and you obtain your rewards and you finish the legend stage. Click there a couple times and then move to the X button on the top right. Once you are done, exit out, and then boom, just like that, macro's done.